The salon we'll talk about first is a longtime salon owner, and in conversation with them, they had made mention, forever I'd noticed that they hadn't been fully staffed. And always the conversations that I had with them were about how can we staff, how can I go to schools, how can we bolster the staff. I can't seem to draw anyone in. And my suggestion at the time was, okay, let's role play this. I'll be the person you've been waiting to walk through your door. I'll be a perfect candidate to work in your salon. Interview me. And the next 10 or 20 minutes was the interview itself. And as we went through the role play, a couple of things that I noticed. First of all is that the salon owner did all the talking. There really wasn't a whole lot of questioning going on. It was a lot of conversation about not a lot, to be honest. And when we stopped that session, one of the things that I said to the salon owner was, I can kind of understand, because I can understand how staffing has been a challenge. One of the things that we need to do is prepare you to be in front of an interviewee.
The salon I'm thinking of, Steve, is one that had given up complete hope. They had lost their confidence in their ability to own a salon. They didn't even know where to start. They thought things were such a mess. They didn't know how to embrace the business they had right in front of them, and didn't even know what to do, where to do it, how to do it. They were completely lost within their four walls of their business. And that's where I think we start today. We start by saying what we did with these salons to help them make a difference in their businesses. What do you think?
Great.
Okay. So what we did is we said, you've got some things that are missing. Because if we, during the interview process with you talking about your salon, are bored, can't get a handle on who you are, what you are, how you're going to go about what you do, if we, as people that are rooting you on to make it in this business, can't be convinced that you've got something worthwhile or special, how are you going to convince an applicant of the same?
Terry, one of the things that I learned in business from you is that as a business owner, you need to be able to fight for your cause.
Yes.
You do that with your words and the way you speak about what you do in business. And through the process of that, you're inviting people in to be part of that. You're inviting them into your dream.
Yes, or share your vision.
Exactly. So I think that where we generally start with a salon owner, as you know, is that once we've gathered all the information about their existing staff and their hours and the support staff that they have, and in the process of that, we kind of learn the salon's story. From that point then, where we've been starting is really talking about the idea of mission, vision, non-negotiables, and career path. We believe that those four things are critically necessary for every salon owner to have to move forward in their business.
Yes, having those things in place lets them know who they are. Not trying to be someone else down the street, but who they are, what their business's character is. So let's start off with mission.
Mission, quite simply, is what you intend to be. It really is. When you dreamed about your salon and the beginning of it, what you wanted it to be when it grew up. So it's a lot of words. It's just if you were writing about your own business and then took the words that were the most compelling from it, you would have really what the mission. Why did you do it? That's if we were coaching you, I would be asking you, why did you go in business? Why did you do it? And almost saying, so what? Until you had something that you could say back to me that was compelling. Because if your story isn't compelling, if there isn't the proper mission, if there isn't the proper what, you can't inspire people with it. People want to belong if there's a compelling story. They want to be part of what you are.
All right, let's do some role play and some dialogue examples. Let's start with mission. I'm in front of you. You're interested in me at this point. You're thinking about maybe even extending a second interview, but you want to start to put in place in the applicant's eyes why your salon is a place of value. What is your mission of your salon?
Terry, as we get started here, I'd like to share with you a little bit about the mission of the salon, which really is why we went in business in the first place. As a stylist in previous salons, what I wanted to do was capitalize on the experience and deliver service at an extraordinary level. We wanted to be a salon that was known for both our technical and our artistic brilliance, but also for an incomparable level of service. The thought of being world famous entered our minds, not because of a particular world famous person maybe that we service, but the idea of being world famous because of the way we deliver service here at our salon.
That's a great example. Give me another one.
You think this is easy?
Yes.
All right, a second example would be to say, Terry, in our salon, I want you to know that we're really not about being necessarily the biggest salon. We don't need hundreds and hundreds of people to work here at our salon in order to have that equal success. What we do want is a staff of dedicated people that's committed to lifelong relationships with their customer, lifelong relationships with each other in the business, and who have the capacity to belong to something that's bigger than any one of us. Our intent is to do something really special here in our salon. And if you would be selected, I think you'd really enjoy it here.
Terrific. Those are two great examples. Now let's move on to vision.
Well, on this one, I really would like to share something that came out of a session that we had with a salon owner recently. And I listened to her talking, just really trying to find what the vision statement for her salon might be. And what we kind of came up with is that she wanted a progressive salon that was always changing and wanted her guests to feel pampered, relaxed, and to get away from their busy lives in an atmosphere of artistic and technical brilliance.
So her decision-making has to reflect that statement of the house.
Her decision-making, the steps of the service, the career path, all of that needs to fit and be in alignment with what that vision statement is. What I get from that vision statement is that service through pampering is important, that providing a kind of a safe place to fall for guests, getting away from their busy lives is really important.
So the music selection, the type of shampoo, the dialogue in the salon. A shampoo wouldn't be rushed in that salon. The service wouldn't be rushed.
And her last couple of phrases, artistic and technical brilliance.
Look at their commitment to education.
Doesn't happen by accident. That's
Right.
a tremendous commitment to do that. And it states that right up front, even before we get into non-negotiables and career path.
All right, I'm going to do non-negotiables. Steve, you're the applicant. Okay?
I'll do it.
Great. Steve, as I get into the next segment during the interview process, which we refer to as non-negotiables, when we started our salon, we put these non-negotiables in place because we felt that they were best for the customer, best for the business, and best for the staff, and the best example of who we are. So as I state them to you, it's because it works for the business. Does that make sense?
Sure does.
Great. The first one we're going to start with, Steve, is going to be our dress code. Our dress code's in place primarily so our guests will know who the employees are. I want it to be obvious. I love black on the staff because it highlights hair and makeup. Black is so nice because it doesn't date itself. It always looks current. It's not trendy because it's solid black and there are no patterns. Can you live with that decision?
I can live with the black, but I'm not so sure about the makeup.
What do you mean?
You said it highlights my hair and makeup. I would just as soon not have to wear makeup.
No, I'm sorry. Because we're in the beauty industry, our staff has to be in full makeup every day. Also full hairstyles.
Okay.
It's the beauty industry. And it's expected from us. And our customers, our guests, enjoy seeing that we are always fashion forward and fashion current. The next one is punctuality. Probably a real hot button here at our salon. Our standard is that we arrive 30 minutes before our scheduled time to start. It allows us not to prep in front of our guests. It allows us to have that mental time to prepare because our service culture is so high, and we know the focus must be on our guest, we need to almost get in a service zone, and we feel that half hour is necessary. Can you live with that standard as well?
So you want me here a half hour before my shift, and my hair and makeup has to already be done, or is it that half hour I get to do my hair and makeup?
No. Everything has to be done prior to arrival.
Okay.
Now, those are just two examples. We could give more, but it's not necessary for this exercise. Steve made mention earlier of Disney and how they have a video to show an applicant prior to anyone even talking to them or discussing the future opportunities with Disney. Wouldn't it be fun if the salon did a home salon video listing all the salon's non-negotiables that they could show to an applicant prior to the interview process? It would avoid misunderstandings about the non-negotiables, and it also would show humor that you have in your salon, or also the serious side of the salon as well. Okay, it's time to do career path.
Before we do career path, can we clear up this makeup issue? I'm a little concerned about it. Obviously, you were role-playing with me as if I would wear makeup.
Yes, I did.
Okay. That's just a role play. All right, career path.
Okay.
The way we would talk about career path, Terry, you're going to be a potential...
I'm the applicant, yes.
Applicant. In our salon, Terry, we have a career path which creates a clear point of entry for any new team member. And what it does is it allows us to outline really your training time here in our salon, your starting price. It also establishes the criteria of expectations that we have as you start your career here in our salon. We expect you to be at this first level for approximately 9 to 12 months, at the end of which there'll be a 12-week qualifying period for you to establish your acceptable standard at the promotable level. So when you begin, you'll know what we expect, dollar per guest, service dollar per guest, and take-home dollar per guest to be. It really helps people to know what's expected. That expectation also is consistent with the way we look at service in our salon. That acceptable standard is in place so that we know that you're delivering extraordinary service to our guest, because we believe that to the degree that you deliver extraordinary service, the guest will trust us with more of their money.
What's the number one thing I should be thinking about when I join your staff?
Terry, the number one thing, your whole role in the beginning is to create a repeat guest. In the beginning, our salon will place salon clients in addition to the request clients that we expect you to have by promoting yourself outside of the salon as well as inside the salon.
What do you mean by salon clients?
Salon clients are salon reputation clients, meaning that because of the established nature of our business, we have people who come in just because of the name of our salon and just because of the reputation we have in the community. We kind of look at it as a privilege that the public gives us after years of being in business. Your job is to service them in an extraordinary fashion and turn them into a request client for you. We call that creating a repeat guest. That's your focus. In addition to that, you want to be sure that they enjoy additional services in the salon as well as take-home products. We'll give you dialogue and train you on how to reschedule a guest today while they're in the salon, because we know that's what's best for them. And in addition, some of the most important dialogue at the beginning of your career is going to be how to ask for new business, how to ask people to send in their friends and family to be serviced by you.
This salon looks at everything.
Well, you know, we kind of feel we have to, Terry, because again, we're not about being the biggest salon, but we want to deliver service at an extraordinary level. And we can't say that we're delivering service at an extraordinary level if we're not measuring anything.
So how many customers do you think it'll take for me to be busy?
Well, statistics prove that if you're working 40 hours a week, which is what we'll expect you to work as a member of our team, that you'll require something less than 250 guests to be fully scheduled. Now, that'll be some things that you learn in the education process and the training process. And please believe me, you'll hear that again and again and again, because all we really need to do per stylist here in the salon is make 250 friends, create 250 repeat guests. Sounds easy enough, doesn't it, Terry?
Yeah, it does. What about my schedule?
Well, your schedule will be based on our hours of availability, being that we are responsible for the total business and also knowing when our guests need to be serviced. We will give you a schedule of available hours. In the beginning, we'll augment that with your training time and the time that you'll be assisting experienced staff.
Great.
Can you live with that?
Yes, I can.
Good. After the first level, there's actually 3 more levels in our salon. Those 3 levels all have additional advanced criteria added to them because of the privilege of a price increase that goes along with them. So does our expectation increase. So does the guest expectation increase. The interesting thing about the way our system is set up is that we don't promote anyone just based on the amount of time that they've worked here in our salon. People are only promoted based on our guest saying they've earned the right to be promoted. Only when we can measure that does someone move up. So each of these other 3 levels, someone will spend anywhere from 18 to 24 months at each one of those levels. Part of that time will be a sharpening of skills. Part of that time will be adjusting to their new price increase, because we know as a business that when we raise prices, you lose approximately 10% of your guests. That's necessary. It makes room for new guests who will pay your new price. It's a critical time to reschedule. It's a critical time to ask for new business as well. That takes place kind of at each level. Each level culminates in a qualifying period where you'll be expected to perform above the acceptable standard at a promotable level and hold that performance for 12 weeks. So what excites us about that is that you know on day 1 really what's expected of you for the next 8 to 10 years here in our business. Does being part of something interest you?
Absolutely.
Does it help to know that you have a system here to work with that we trust you to use?
Sure. Sure it does.
That's the end of my example. What would you add to it, Terry? This is Terry the instructor, not Terry the interviewee now.
I don't think I'd add anything to it. What I love is that there's no questions of what I can be. It's how fast I can get there. And that my future depends on me. Owners out there, remember, it's our job to manage the talent. It's our employees' job to manage the effort. This system that we've just outlined says high effort, high reward, because we're going to reward the customer's raving fan mentality. When they are supporting our people, it's only right that they're promoted through the process. That's why a level playing field of compensation doesn't create that. And that's what concerns us. Those were great examples, honey. I enjoyed that very much.
Can I go someplace else for just a minute?
Yeah.
Okay. Several of us from the company had the opportunity to participate in a live seminar over the internet last week. And I found out about it through Tom Peters. As many of you know that have been working with Terry and I for years, he's one of our mentors and one of our business heroes. I got a message that he was going to do a live meeting over the internet. And we logged on, and it was a tremendous program, but it was really a neat technology as well. And Tom was joined by a gentleman by the name of Kevin Roberts, who wrote a current best-selling book called Love Marks. And Love Marks really is kind of the opposite of a trademark. A love mark it kind of equals a loyalty beyond reason. And some things that came from that really was just that ideas are going to be the currency of the future. For those of you that are salon owners, and sometimes you think, oh my God, how many times am I going to have to share these ideas? How many times am I going to have to share these concepts and what our vision and what our mission is? As many times as it takes, really, because that is what makes you different. It's your ideas that set you apart from one salon to the next. In the course of that, there were some awesome examples that were given, and kind of one of the things that they said that creates loyalty beyond reason. There were 3 words that are something really to think about. One is that in business we need to create a sense of mystery. Another is sensuality, and the third is intimacy.
My gosh, great 3 words for our industry.
Oh, perfect for the salon industry. You throw the salon industry and bring the spa and that concept together, and it blends those just so well. I think that it's clear how well we're poised and positioned to move forward and really capitalize on where the discretionary income is going to be spent in the future. Because everybody, it doesn't matter what you're reading right now, people are talking about where spendable income is coming from.
I was in a salon yesterday receiving a manicure and pedicure and went out to the lobby to let my nails dry thoroughly, and I love just watching the interaction with the customers and the staff. And a woman came out of the spa that had a pedicure, and she said, I need some more, I need some more. Is there a massage, or is there anything else I can get? My daughter's in from college, her hair looks a mess, she needs highlights, lowlights, cut, hair color, she needs everything, and I can come in and get a massage or anything while she's being serviced. We just love being here. That's loyalty beyond reason.
Oh, without a doubt. A couple of other thoughts that they shared with us was that emotion leads to action while reason leads to conclusions. What I love about that is we're a naturally emotional business to begin with. We evoke emotion as a business. When people get the added confidence that comes from looking and feeling their best, that creates an emotion. If we realize that and can just point people toward the additional services that they can enjoy while they're in our salon. What's the design of your salon? What's the design of your dialogue and your systems? Because one of the things that they said in this is that the role of design is to turn shoppers into buyers. I know that doesn't directly relate. You have to think about that for a while to have it make sense in our industry. But you know what? If we think of every guest that comes into the salon as a shopper, they may be a haircut customer, but they're a beauty shopper. They're someone that's thought about color. They've thought about highlights. They've thought about manicures and pedicures. They've thought about a facial.
And I think that's a great point. Are the categories, the other categories, obvious? Haircut is obvious. If a nail station is present, it's obvious. If it's hidden, it's not obvious. If a pedicure station is hidden, it's not obvious. If waxing isn't obvious, it's not going to be enjoyed. So you have to make your business obvious to the customer so they can buy. So many times, what we offer in business is a secret, or it has to be discovered. And I believe our job in the salon is to help the customer discover everything that we have available for them.
So how can we allow design to influence that?
By our visuals, by lighting. Certainly design is by conversation and design. Your staff is also part of your design. So all of that is necessary for the customer to be drawn to other categories in the business. Also, is it obvious? Are we talking about the other categories aloud? Just because we know them doesn't mean our shopper knows them.
So if any of this topic interests you, again, Kevin Roberts is the author of a book called Love Marks. He also has a website called lovemarks.com. Tom Peters can also be reached at tompeters.com. And you'll see a lot of this information that just is intertwined. But kind of the last thing on this that I'd like to share with all of you is that they had us do an axis, 2 lines crossing each other, one going east to west and the other going north to south. The north to south line represents respect, and left to right represents love. And starting in the bottom left-hand corner, if we had something that was low love and low respect, that's what a commodity is. That's what Clorox bleach is. That's what Tide is, Kleenex tissue, all of those things that really are just a commodity. They're not premium priced. If we go to the upper left, where we have moderately high respect but low love, we have a brand. People respect a brand, but they're not in love with the brand. If we go to the bottom right, where we're high on love but low on respect, that's a fad. That's something that comes into fashion quickly and falls from fashion quickly because people love it, but it doesn't last long. The upper right, I think, is where we're all trying to get in business, which is high love and high respect.
And that's a love mark.
That's a love mark.
Got it.
And that's loyalty beyond reason. So as you think about your business, maybe you could even put your services on that axis and say, where does a haircut fall on the axis of love and respect? And where do the other various services fall on that? And how could we, through mystery, through sensuality, through intimacy, using our ideas as a currency, how could we position our salon better for the future?
It's all about that. Success is all yours. Thank you for trusting us with your minds for this hour.
Have a great month.